she said, trust me.
Hello. Let me turn off this rubbish music. Boom. Gone. See you later. Oh dear. Sorry about that. But hey, I'm ahead of schedule, so, can't complain. Yeah, I just searched on Spotify for royalty-free music and was like, yeah, let's put this on and see how they like that. Keep them entertained. Uh, what have I missed? Oh, well, while I was gone, AMD went down by 1%, so that's pretty saddening. I was considering selling that just now, so oh well, never mind. We'll keep hodling. We'll just keep hodling. Come on, AMD. Hello, 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 everyone. So I made a I made a funny mistake this morning with Bitcoin trading. So it was a lazy day, lazy Friday. So I was still in bed at half nine, 10 a.m. or whatever time it was. I can't remember. Normally I'm up by then, but yeah, I was still in bed and I was on my phone checking Etoro and stuff, you know. And I decided to close a couple of Bitcoin positions because I thought, price is reasonably high. I'm going to close a couple, just wait and then buy back cheaper. And then I checked it 10 minutes later, and I thought the price was lower, and was like just below the price I sold at, and I was like, oh cool, I'll buy some back. In reality, it was actually higher. So I did two. They were really small trades, so it doesn't really matter too much. But I did two trades that didn't make any money effectively. Well, not that they didn't make any money, but they were a bit pointless. So people have been asking me about those this morning. And the truth is that I was clearly too tired to be trading at that point. So been closing a bunch of Facebook. Like I've been moving a lot of money around, a lot of money around. You probably noticed just there, I moved quite a bit of stuff around and quite a lot of different trades. I'm still looking at this Activision and wondering if I should close out this position before it gets too low. I think I will. I just don't want to lose the profit that I've already got on it. I'm happy with these ones, you know, I can hold those, but Activision obviously had their earnings, so yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, there's going to be a reversal reasonably soon, I think. I don't think it's going to be a full reversal, though. I think there'll be a correction. The actual reversal will come, you know, when the dip comes, to be honest. It's like everyone's expecting it to happen. It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think. Hello, Barbara. Ugh, I'm like tired from hanging up that washing. I was like speed hanging. So yeah, today is a pretty interesting day. We've finally seen the altcoins rally. Uh, Not too much of a rally on most of them. Bitcoin Cash is doing best, and EOS, which is something that I've talked about on this stream quite a lot. But EOS is like the hype is building for Dawn 2.0, which is effectively like the testnet release of their code, um, which is scheduled for early December. So yeah, Electronium. Electronium has happened. It has occurred, and I'm still sticking to my guns. It's been dropping pretty heavily, as you can see, down 41%. It did start at like insane prices, so I guess it's possible to make some money. But this wasn't any of the all of this trading volume that you see at the moment is before anyone has access to the real coins. Like most people still don't have access to the coins that they bought in the ICO. It's all money from mining. And just from the miners alone, it's been pushing the price down. Not to mention that there's no mobile mining, there's no mobile wallet, there's no anything. Yeah, it's actually probably one of the most shoddy ICO launches I think I've ever seen. There was all sorts of drama going on Twitter, hacking and stuff going on. So supposedly, like a bunch of accounts there had been taken over by a hacker like 3 times. So I hope you didn't invest in Electronium. I warned you all. Don't say I didn't warn you. But yeah, Electronium, like we don't know the market cap yet, but it's I think it's somewhere in around the 30 million mark at the moment. I think by the time those users who have their funds currently locked up in the ICO actually get access to them, this is going to drop to like 15 million pretty quickly, which will put it just about top 200 on CoinMarketCap. I should buy Call of Duty, the game, actually. Yeah, so Activision had their earnings. I haven't listened to the call yet because I can't find it. um, but yeah, they beat their earnings. It's a similar story to pretty much all the. It seems like the theme of earnings reports this quarter is everyone's beating their predictions, but they're warning that it's not sustainable. It's not going to continue into the future. And so as a result, a lot of people are selling shares. So, but we'll see. I think some of those companies are being a little bit pessimistic. I think Activision is one of them, and I think AMD is one of them. I think Facebook is probably pretty spot on, really. But yeah. Well, Tesla, I also predicted that they would have a very bad quarter. So I had 4 positions in Tesla. I sold 3 of them in the week leading up to their earnings report and left one open. And I've since rebought one of those positions as well. So I now have 2 positions in Tesla. as you can see. So this is the one that I left open. This is the one that I bought yesterday. And this was already down by a reasonable chunk. I was predicting that it would drop to 300. It's actually gone a bit further. It seems to have broken that support line. But like Tesla's long-term strategy is still very, very good. I think even next quarter they'll be in trouble as well, though, to be honest. But we will see. We will keep an eye on it, and we will see. But yeah, I've been moving a bit of money around. I've been buying up some stocks that are at discount, and some that I really considered holding on to. Like Garmin, I've talked about several times, and they had a great earnings, and I looked at the earnings report, and I thought, you know what, I want a piece of this because I think Q4 for them is going to be very good as well. So I bought a bit of Garmin at a reasonably expensive price, with the plan of buying another one at some point. But obviously, I'm going to wait until it's a bit lower, I think, than it is at the moment before I do that. Some other stuff I've bought. I've bought a short on oil. Um, this is an interesting one. So obviously, I don't normally trade this kind of stuff. Yeah, cheeky gilt position. I'll come on to that in a minute. So I don't normally trade oil. I have traded oil and gold before, and I'm okay at trading commodities. But effectively, again, like it was a case of looking at the chart and thinking, you know what, I can draw a really nice line across here that shows that right now it's probably overvalued. And you know, oil is very politically driven in the price, so it is difficult to predict. But I think that the risk to reward ratio for this trade is pretty good because, you know, I could hold on to this until the end of the year, and there's a very good chance that it'll be below $50 again. And I'm happy to take profit when it hits that kind of level. So, da 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 da. Oil's done A, B, C, D. On what time frame? Yeah. It shows it still shows that I'm playing PUBG. I'm not playing PUBG. I've definitely changed it. Can't believe. Oh, I didn't press the update information button. Ooh, what does it say now? I pressed the update button now. I might have to close it and reopen it. Yeah, I'm more interested in like the 1 day view of oil, 1 day chart, 1 week chart even. Like I don't think it's very likely to go above this. I think it's more likely to drop back down here to $50 again. Because the thing is, we know we're already past peak oil, but we're approaching peak oil demand soon. It's also why I've gone even more long on some of the solar companies as well. After listening to the first solar report, I'm pretty convinced that solar is just going to absolutely boom next year. Um, so, and of course that causes disruption elsewhere, but it really helps players like Tesla and stuff too. Like, I don't know, the entire like movement away from oil towards solar batteries and um, electric cars and stuff is something that I'm pretty big into. I want it to happen. I think it will happen as well, and I think it's going to happen sooner than people think because people have been saying for years that solar's adoption will be slower, and every time they've predicted it, they've been wrong. So da, da, da. Might need a refresh. Yeah, maybe I'll close it and reopen it if that's the case. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened like since I last streamed. Coinbase put out that they had 100,000 users sign up in 1 day. 100,000 users sign up in 1 day. There was a post on Reddit earlier that showed search traffic from Australia, and Bitcoin, CoinJar, Coinbase, and something else were all in the top 10 most searched things by all of Australia um, for today, which is again like it really feels like we're hitting this just point of mass awareness, not even mass adoption, but just mass awareness. And so some of those people are starting to move in. I would just sell it. I would just sell it, to be honest, Rob. Like, you've got to remember that this market at the moment for Electronium is purely miners, and the price is dropping even with just miners in the game. So once you add in mobile miners, and then you add in um, all of the people that bought into the ICO, they are going to drop it so quickly. It's going to collapse. I'm sure it will. Within 2 weeks, I think the price of Electronium will be half of what it is now. So if I were you, I would, for sure, like keep mining, but just sell everything you mine as soon as you mine it. Do I think that's fair? Yes, because if they didn't, then they could go bankrupt. And if you look at other exchanges, they do similar things as well. There are very, very few exchanges that during the Bitcoin Cash fork let you keep sell positions open. They also stopped leverage on a lot of exchanges as well and made you close leverage changes. It's not like they haven't given you plenty of time, plenty of warning. Ah, well, I guess you better hope it drops soon. What price did you open your sell orders at? Okay, so I've set a trailing stop loss on this Activision position just because I don't want this to go back into the red. I would rather just sell it for a small profit. Um, oh, look who it is. Mr. Geo. Monsieur Le Geo Snipe. I think I did see him in the chat somewhere. I can't find it now though. Quote ages ago. Hi Geo. Um, I mean the 5,100. I think you're really hoping pretty heavily there that it's going to go down that low. Bitcoin does love a 50% retrace, but I don't think it's going to do a 50% retrace after SegWit 2x. I actually think it's going to be a similar situation to Bitcoin Cash, where once the community sees that it doesn't pick up as much adoption and as much, hype as people expected, it will cause Bitcoin to rally faster, and people will pile their money back into Bitcoin. And I think the same is going to happen with SegWit 2x. So I actually think that realistically, like if you had it open from 6,000, I'd say sure, hang on to it until a bit after the fork, just in case, in case it drops that low. But I don't think even 6,000 is that likely to get filled. I think 6,500 could get filled. But like you're not going to make much profit off of these trades, I don't think. So that's the thing. Like if I were you, I would be setting a trailing stop loss on it. That's reasonably tight and let it close itself out, and you're just going to kind of have to take the hit. But that's just what I suggest, and I'm not a financial advisor, so it's up to you at the end of the day. Do I think EOS will continue to rise till the fork? It's not a fork, first of all. Um, it's well, I guess I guess you. So it's the reason EOS is rising is because of Dawn 2.0, but it's not technically a fork. So yes, I do, because there's a lot of hype about what they're building, and if they deliver what they say they're going to deliver, then EOS will be in the top 10 cryptos, not long after they deliver it. So, in fact, possibly even top 5. It will get very, very high up. EOS is something that, like, if I was, if I wanted to build a social network based off of cryptocurrency, at the moment there's no option because nothing can handle that number of transactions. So if EOS can deliver it, then EOS is going to explode. Monero versus Dash, tough fight. But for me, I prefer Dash. But I do think that Monero is really strong as well. I own some Monero too, but like 10-to-1 ratio compared to what I own of Dash. Okay, my Activision's closed out. Let me just check and see what else is moving around today. So that's a bit of a result on my Solar Edge purchase. I bought that last night, so that's pretty good. Just checking prices and making sure that nothing's moving too much that I should be aware of it. So Nvidia's up slightly. Alibaba stayed the same. Facebook's pretty much stayed the same. Amazon's dropped a tiny amount. It seems like pretty much it's a pretty stable day across the markets today. Shopify has been rallying a little bit, so I actually had a green position in Shopify that I closed yesterday, I think, if I remember right. Maybe it wasn't Shopify. No, it was Shopify. Yeah, I closed like a little 3% trade, just buying when I thought it was a bit oversold. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty happy with where my portfolio is sitting at the moment. Might close this 2x position. It's tempting. It's so tempting. I know I shouldn't though, because like you look at the chart and it just kind of, oh, I'm on totally the wrong view. I need to go onto like a 4-hour chart. Yeah, for me it seems really inevitable that we're going to see AMD jump back up into the 11s. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for at the moment on those 2x leverage trades. Yeah, I mean AMD over the next month isn't going to do that much. I'm not going to lie to you, you know. People decide it's not worth that much, then it's not worth that much. There's not much we can do about it. If there's more people that think it's not worth very much money. Um, I think that it's effectively in a moment that's a bit like this drop here, where it fell off the face of a cliff. But it kind of sat down there for a bit, but then it recovered, spiked up the opposite direction, and then settled down here. Except that I don't think we're going to have this spike. I think we're basically going to have a small rally up to like this kind of region, so between 11 and $12, and we'll settle between there. But like anything under $11 is just stupidly low valuation for AMD, to be honest. I think we won't see a substantial change until their next earnings report, because that's what people are scared of, right? That's what happened in their report. They said that they expect a 15% drop sequentially on their earnings. So, you know, does that validate a 25% drop in share price? Not in my opinion, but apparently other people seem to think it does. Realistically, like even if they hit what they say they're going to next quarter, then it should still rally back up above $12, so like 12 to 12.50 into this range. But like realistically, we have to just hold on to AMD at the moment. It, I think if it goes under $10, like that's just tempting me to like remortgage my house to buy more of it. There's no justification for it to be that low. Okay, their graphics cards aren't performing that well, but nobody expected them to. Ryzen and Epic are doing amazingly and will continue to do well. Like there comes a point where it just gets silly, and it's the same situation actually. This is the only trade that I can think of that's really similar to this is Nokia. I traded Nokia back in like 2009 to 2012 or something like that, maybe 2013. I was trading Nokia, and it was really similar to this. It was pretty all over the place. In fact, I'll see if I can find it on the charts. I have to go pretty far back, so I'll probably have to go into like a 1-day view or something, even longer maybe. Okay, yeah. So you can see here like it had these like insane drops here, and when it did this drop here, I bought a ridiculous amount, and this one as well. I just bought loads of it because I was just like, what, this is just totally unjustified at this price and at this price. I remember buying it around $3, and then Microsoft made a deal with them, and it jumped up to $7.50, pretty much overnight. And yeah, I don't know, like it's a similar situation here. What they were building was good. The fact that it wasn't being adopted by people was almost irrelevant in some ways because it just meant that they were viable for purchase. Now AMD's situation is very different to this, but there's like similarities in how the market is valuing them and just kind of declaring them dead before they really are. I mean they're pretty dead now, but after their last earnings report. Which esports have I played? So I used to play StarCraft Brood War. Then I played Command and Conquer 3 and Trackmania. And I played a bit of StarCraft 2 as well. And I also used to play some like there's plenty of other like games that I've played at like kind of more casual level. So, but still like not competitive I guess, but competing at least. Um, so I played Trackmania man. That's where it's at. In StarCraft 2 when it first came out, I was before they had like anything above platinum. I don't even think they had diamond at the time. I'm trying to remember, but I was in the top division and I was like second or third for like the first 2 seasons. Then they added masters and I was masters for the first season and then I went out of masters. But I never really like played played that seriously on StarCraft 2. It was more just because I was a fan of StarCraft in general. So like for the first few years I was good because it felt similar to StarCraft Brood War, but once I added more units and stuff, I just never really bothered to learn it. Mate, Quake is where it's at. Quake will go home. Will I sell the Bitcoin fork? I think it depends. I'll probably weigh it up on the day and see where the momentum is. I expect there to be a reasonable drop because another thing you've got to remember is that Bitcoin's rallying not just because fans of Bitcoin think that, you know, it's going to go their way, and not just because people are joining because they want their free, well, not just because people want their coins, their free coins so that they can sell them and buy something else with the money, but there are also people that are doing it because they want their free coins, full stop, and then they're going to hold their free coins, they're going to sell their Bitcoin, they're going to buy even more free coins. So you have to take that into consideration. That will have a negative effect on the Bitcoin price. The question is, how big that effect is. I don't know how they're going to give us Bitcoin 2x actually. I'm not convinced that it's going to happen very quickly at all, to be honest, because there's no replay protection. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to do it as a CFD instead of the real crypto. I don't know. I really don't know because like if you look across the board, there's so many exchanges that aren't even supporting it. So Etoro is actually in the minority at the moment. I would say, well, maybe not the minority. I think it's like 50-50 on who's supporting it and who's not. But like BitMEX, for example, which is an absolutely massive exchange, just came out and said they're not supporting it because they can't split it safely and they don't think it's a safe coin to split. Less players, I guess now. You can't withdraw Bitcoin from your eToro address at the moment, but in theory, yes, once they implement it. I think it's 1,000. Oh, is it the minimum? Okay, cool. Good news. I thought it was 1,000. I don't know why. Oh, look, the people who invested on these days are now back at break even. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. 11, 13, 12, 13, 14. 14 days, roughly. 14 days in which you could have invested in me and not be profitable right now. That's good news. Depending, like, it's kind of a loose prediction because it depends if you've got the open positions or not and stuff, but roughly. I think investing in indexes is useful, but it's not something I really do very often. I shorted the Nasdaq for a bit before earnings because I was a bit concerned before like the earnings report started coming in, but it seems like everything is looking pretty stable for now on the Nasdaq. So maybe we have another few quarters before we need to start worrying. My Litecoin prediction is that if all of this goes terribly wrong, Litecoin will boom. And that's pretty much what everyone in Litecoin hopes. Litecoin is pretty much just for that. If you actually look at who invested in Litecoin and why they invested it and how much they invested in it, Litecoin is pretty much just invested in by everyone as a backup. It's literally just a backup. So if someone has an awful lot of Bitcoins, they're gonna put like 1% in Litecoin because it's just worth it for just in case. Because if Bitcoin does break and Litecoin takes its place and you're already in Litecoin, then you're likely to see yourself making a similar amount of money to the amount you lost just by holding some now. Yeah, the thing is that like it's really easy to say that in hindsight, Nuggy. Like it's really easy to say that in hindsight, but hodling does come with like some substantial risks. Like the risk of Bitcoin ABC, Bitcoin Cash, all of these different forks and things that have been going on, the political situations, legal situations, regulations, like it could have unfolded very differently to how it did. Um, so yeah, like I mean, I as much as people say that hodling is like the best thing to do, I don't really think it is. Um, if you can really afford to lose that money, then yeah, sure, go for it. But I don't know. I don't think it's um I don't think it's necessarily the most sensible thing to do if you actually want to maybe keep some of that money. I mean, like, for the most part, I hodled um in my wallets. Uh, and every time I've traded, it's more or less not all of them, but a substantial number of them, like probably about 60% of my trades have ended up losing money compared to if I just kept it in Bitcoin. But it does mean that I'm diversified, and it does mean that I'm protected, and it does mean that I have more opportunity elsewhere because it's it's a guarantee that Bitcoin is not going to be the only big cryptocurrency. Something else will make it big. Everyone thought it was going to be Ethereum after like the ICO boom, but then the ICO boom kind of worked against them, and now they're having problems with scaling. Um, I suspect it could be Dash. Some people think it will be Ripple. Some people think it will be IOTA. And so by spreading your risk a bit, even just like 10% of what I've made, it enables me to potentially make the same kind of money that I made off Bitcoin again. That's okay. But it happens to the best of us, like making the wrong decisions and losing money. Um, a lot of people were very angry when I decided to move so much money so quickly from altcoins into Bitcoin, but they're not angry anymore because there's a 10% difference in what I would have if I'd have kept it and what I have now that I haven't kept it. My only regret is not doing that to the same extent in my own wallet. I moved less of it in my own wallet. So I've still got $22,000 worth of Dash in my main wallet currently, which is a lot. But I'm still positive on Dash. I'm making a big bet on where Dash is going for next year. Tesla. You know what I should do? I should open Bitcoin's chart. Nope, that's AMD. Look at that rally. It's crazy. Oops. No, didn't mean to do that. Huh. Oops. Let's bring this down. Huh. So by that fib, 8,500 could be the next level. Next big level. I'm not sure if I drew that fib right there. Da 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 da. Bum. Trading at $2,000 plus today. Yeah, it's 2x is just so difficult to tell. So it's weird. It's weird that it's trading. Is it on the futures? Let's see. Coinmarketcap.com. Yeah, wow, that's gone up a lot. I wonder why. I don't know this exchange. What exchange is this? X-Rate. Does anyone know where this exchange is based? So I think important thing to consider with the SegWit 2x futures is that it's being traded on HIT BTC, which is not a Western exchange. And I don't like to stereotype too much, but Korea, China, Japan, all three of those markets like buying shitcoins. That's the only way to say it. Like, they are people that will invest in whatever they can. I think there's a lot of investors over there that don't understand cryptocurrency very much, and they're just going for whatever they think is cheap, without doing their due diligence. And I think that you'll see that the price will be nowhere near that level when it actually trades. Like, we saw the same thing on Bitcoin Cash. We saw Bitcoin Cash futures at $1,500 before Bitcoin Cash went live, and then it was at like $700, and then it dropped to like $300. And more recently, it's risen back up. But But yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it. I wonder if there's anything about it on their Twitter. It's an exchange full of speculators. Litecoin's not a shit coin. A lot of Chinese and stuff like Litecoin, but I think they disproportionately put a lot more money into those things than they do into the big ones. So like I think for example, like if I were to take an average guy over there and split their portfolio open and take a look at it, I could pretty much guarantee you that Bitcoin would be a smaller position than some of the altcoins. And that's just not a sensible strategy, really. Like even during its peak, I think I still always had Bitcoin at the same level as like Ethereum in my own portfolio for like long-term holding. I don't really use Etoro's charts too much, so I haven't experienced it yet. But I've heard people complaining about it. Yeah, no, for me, I do think that that is the correct place to be drawing this, you know. Oop, that's not what I want. Still trying to figure out how to use the fibs on here properly because I haven't used this website for very long. So that just moves it. So then I can't see, which is unfortunate. Because what I want is I want it to be divided like this up here. I want to see the smaller fibs at the top. I guess the only way to do that is to do it like backwards, draw it backwards. But like that's just super difficult to do. Let's just try and do this. Right, so I've drawn it in parallel. Go back to the same height. Now if I can just move it, I can't just move it. Oh no, I can just move it. So I'll try and get that to line up so that they're in the right place. It's not quite right, is it? Someone needs to teach me how to do fibs on here properly. For the same reason that everything else is going down after earnings, the market's taking profit. The market is taking profit. The market's getting a bit conservative and a bit concerned about the speed of growth and stuff like that. It's why AMD went down as far as it did. It should never have gone down that far reasonably. But if you actually look at other stuff, the same things happened with Facebook. The same things happened with like Amazon. You know, like companies that have given out decent Shopify, decent reports, and then they've just kind of dropped a little bit because people are just taking their profit. I was using the trend-based fib. I didn't see a fib extension. Um, I'm still learning my way around this website. I can't even remember where I find all the tools now. So like these are the fibs, right? And I can click this arrow. So there's fib retracement and trend-based fib, but there is no fib extension. And obviously a fib retracement isn't particularly useful in this situation because that would just be this side. The trend-based does um, give me more, but it's not scaled the same. I don't know where to find it, to be honest. I'm too much of a noob. on the left, fib-based extension. Am I missing it? I think I've gone blind. Maybe you've like added it somehow. Um, is this a right moment to start see you? To copy me? Yes. One thing I would say is that if ever on in my chart, um, here, if ever on this chart I'm at an all-time high or near an all-time high, you should probably not copy open positions, generally speaking. So right now it's pretty questionable on if you should copy open positions. You could make a lot of money off AMD if you copy open positions. You could make some good money off Litecoin, Tesla, Dash, like all of these red ones you can make good money off of. But everything that's green equally, you could get worse results from. So it's just worth bearing that in mind. So you pretty much kind of got to kind of like add it up and decide for yourself. It also depends how patient you are. Like if you're like planning on copying me for like 2 years or something, then go ahead and just ignore copying open positions. Because sure, it will take you 2 months before you're like fully up and running in your copy of me, but you'll know that you've got good prices on it. Yeah, I think if I was looking to copy me right now, I would probably not copy open positions. But it's a pretty close decision because it does mean that you might miss out on some big Bitcoin swings potentially. Generally, I'm more of a fan of not copying open positions in general anyway, especially for like more active traders. Yeah, you can also do that. Well suggested, Adam. Well suggested. Ooh, I saw a new rival to Augur that's ICOing, by the way, today. I can't remember what it's called, like MOI or something. Here we go. Yeah, these guys. These guys are also building a prediction market, same as Augur are. Haven't looked into it much yet, though. Just know that it's a thing and it's happening. Uh-oh, we know what happened last time this was here. I don't think I should. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's too funny. I need to stop doing this. You're live on Twitch. But yeah, I will probably actually do an ICO review on this at some point because I'm even interested myself to see how it compares to like Augur and Gnosis and stuff. So you can actually see here it's got a comparison. Single token economy. White label platform. Integrations with other platforms. I mean, that's basically kind of the same as white label, I guess. White label is something super easy to add though. Quick market resolution, scalable platform. I mean, like, yeah, this intrigues me, I guess. Oh no, what's he gonna say? The pressure is on after what happened to the last guy. Oh, look at that. Good response. They have a pretty big team. Loads of LinkedIn profiles. So yeah, I'm probably going to do a review of this at some point. Oh, they're doing a meetup. Who wants to go to London? Doing quite a few actually. I wonder if they're sponsoring them. FinTech conferences, Long Finance, Platts, bitbrighton.org. It's pretty cool. Market Force EU. It depends how much money you've got. The more money you've got, the more likely they are to want to call you. Yeah, I wonder. Like, I don't know. I don't. This one here feels a bit like, I don't know. You shouldn't weight this the same as some of the other stuff that's on here. And like, it's a bit cheeky to say that they've got a beta version and Augur don't as well. I don't know too much about stocks, uh, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to look at this, I think, and see the economics of it and like the token utility and things like that. Well, there's six days left, so if I decide to do a review on it, I should probably do it soon. So I may do it, may do one this weekend. Yeah, they've got a white paper. They've got a demo as well, which is interesting. They've made themselves a Reddit, so they're open to being criticized. No, I probably will come back to here because everyone knows that Augur is like one of my favorite little pet projects. So taking a look at that's something that I should do. They never check if you're okay. You should just phone them. Ask them if they're okay. Did I ever release my list of favorite coins? I don't think so, but I should do that. I have a website. It's jaynemesis.com. I made it. I made it on Wix, so don't be too judgmental. Profit's going back up, which means that Bitcoin is going back up more than likely. It could be AMD. Those are the only two things that I have enough that it would really influence the price that much. Shopify's back at 100, just about, trying to push its way back up there. Netflix is doing likewise for 200. Yeah, it's an interesting time in stocks because everything is at all-time highs more or less. So it's really starting to get difficult to know when the market's getting overvalued. Yeah, Nvidia's up a tiny amount, like $1. No, actually, I don't think we've peaked. I think we're plateauing the same as we did yesterday. Let me go bring up the chart again. So let's go on to, what are we on, 1 hour? I need to change this so it's a bit more visible. Oops. Okay. So yeah, like you can see where we kind of plateaued here for a bit. And again, we plateaued down here, we plateaued here. There have been a few of these like kind of just flat moments. I think it's easier to see on a 4-hour chart actually. Oh, no, it's not. It's impossible to see on a 4-hour chart. Yeah, so you can see it really clearly here because of the red candles. So you can see, look, plateau here, plateau here, plateau here, and down here. And I think we're probably doing the same here. You can already see, there's two red candles, big wicks on both of them, which is kind of worrying, I guess, but not too bad. I get worried if I see like 3 of them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're just plateauing and forming a new base here, and then we should head higher. When I first drew my fibs on here, I'm gonna remove this one because this isn't the original one I had on here. When I first drew my fibs on here, it lined up perfectly with $300 as 7,300 as well as the top. So this, in theory, should be like the big resistance level. And if we break this, then we're probably going to like 8,000. I've already made my website now. I spent ages on that, and like £10 a month or whatever it cost. Solid. That was a solid hour of me choosing a theme and then changing the colors on it and figuring out how Wix works. I haven't checked the ICO, but no, that's not normal, and that is a potentially very concerning sign. Wix is pretty easy. I've got to hand it to them. Like, um, it's come a long way since I last tried any website like that. I used to hate them. I used to think they were so limiting, and they are still very limiting compared to building something yourself, but much less so than they used to be. I'll tell you one thing for sure. I really, really, really wanted to like Squarespace, but I don't. Wix is so much better than Squarespace. Interesting little article there. Drupal for life. WordPress for life. Yeah, I don't recommend Ethereum Classic, and I don't really recommend Ripple either. I would choose Ripple over Ethereum Classic, given the choice, though. In 20 years, Jesus. Um, I'd say 20 years is too long. 20 years is too long. You'd have to rebalance it more often than that. I think if you're gonna go with a crypto portfolio that you like try not to look at and you just hold for five years or something, or 20 years, you should look at it every like 4 years, I think, because the space moves too quickly. Maybe even more than that, like maybe every year, to be honest. Because if you would have come into this market in March, you would have been looking and thinking, right, I need loads of Ethereum and I need loads of ICOs. And you'd come at it now and you'd change your mind. You'd say, I need loads of Bitcoin and maybe a few ICOs and a bit of Ethereum. And I'm pretty sure that next year you'll come at it and you'll say, you need loads of IOTA, you need loads of, you know, loads of third gen blockchains. Yeah, 1 week is a very long time in crypto. I mean, let's like stop and just appreciate for a second that in the last 3 months, Bitcoin has gained more in value than it did over the previous 8 years. In just 3 months, like the exponential growth in cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, is just mind-boggling. Um, and the fact that there are some that are going fast, so much faster than Bitcoin, is what's even more scary in some ways. Yeah, I think 10K by the end of the year is very possible. It really depends on this fork and how it goes. I don't believe they have listed any support for Bitcoin 2x. Almost nowhere has. The only two places I know that have suggested that they will support it. I know that there are a few more than that, but I can't remember who they um, are Coinbase and Etoro. The fork is on the 16th, roughly, unless something goes crazy with mining and the block takes longer. That's the thing. In 1 year on Ethereum, I don't know. Depends what EOS does, I think. Depends what Lisk does. Depends what Arc does. It's such a fast-moving environment, and that's where I genuinely think that I add value to investors on eToro. Is that if they don't have the time to be checking this every week and keeping up with the news, then I think that they're risking more money. And sure, I probably won't make as much as if they just hodled the correct instrument, whichever that one turns out to be. Um, but it does mean that I will definitely jump onto it more quickly than most people would. Like there's so much hype around Hashgraph, there's so much hype around IOTA, you know, Ethereum, Lisk, Arc, Waves, Xerox. Like there's so much stuff um, that's just constantly going on. Salt, and then obviously you've got new ICOs every week. It's to be honest, I could do with hiring an assistant. At some point, I may have to consider it, like as a genuine thing. I may have to consider hiring someone to help me research everything because there's just so much going on that I just can't keep up. Um, like, so I have to focus on the big stuff. I'll tell you something interesting that did happen today. So I've been talking about BitConnect for a while, saying that it's basically similar to Electronium. It's a bit of a Ponzi scheme. Um, and today Vitalik gave his opinion on it. I retweeted it actually, so it should be on my Twitter. Um, what's Etoro saying? Going nuts. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so there's a big thread that this was part of, this whole thing. Someone basically asked Vitalik and Satoshi and uh, Litecoin guy, I've forgotten his name, Charlie Lee, Charlie Lee, not Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee's from BTC China. Um, can I apply for each research job? Maybe. Uh, yeah, so this guy literally on Twitter was just like, look, we need some like big figures from the cryptosphere to speak out against this cryptocurrency because it's gaining momentum and people are going to get hurt. And Vitalik said he has no idea what BitConnect is, which is hilarious. And so, everyone's asking him to look at it and stuff, and then someone points out the 1% inflation rate per day that is built into BitConnect. And Vitalik said this, if 1% a day is what they offer, then that's a Ponzi. So you heard it here first. I guarantee you there'll be a drop in the value of BitConnect today because of that, actually. It might be interesting to go and look, actually. Yeah, it's still not dropping. Still not dropping. Well, I guess it's dropped a bit because it was ahead of Dash and Litecoin. It actually got up to 5th place for a while yesterday. Yeah, Satoshi Light is Charlie Lee from Litecoin. You can still have the receptionist position. It's fine. I haven't read about BitPetite now, or BitPetile, BitPetite. It's the same as OneCoin, PlexCoin. There've been a lot of them now. And I think what cryptocurrency is showing is that when you really have such an unregulated environment like this, um, if you come into this market with ignorance, you'll lose your money because you'll be sucked into something like BitConnect so easily. And like even all their marketing and everything, it's all designed around making it sound similar to Bitcoin. You go on their website and they don't actually tell you anything useful at all. It's all about trying to get you to join as soon as possible. Like, why BitConnect? Valuable. And then like you look at what it says. The moment you acquire BitConnect coin, it becomes an interest-bearing asset. Like, what does that mean? It doesn't tell you why or how it does that. Um, there's no in-depth stuff about BitConnect anywhere on their website. It's all like these tiny little things, decentralized. Like fast transactions, but it doesn't tell you how fast. It doesn't tell you block times. It doesn't give you real information. And that's because they want people not to see the real information. Like, where's their white paper? Where's their white paper? Like, you look around, you look at the top, there's a roadmap, there's a guide, but where's the white paper? Normally the white paper is like the first thing you see. The mining pools, exchanges. Where's the white paper? They're trying to hide it from you because they don't want you to read it. They don't want you to know how it works because anyone who can do basic maths will look at it and realize that it's not sustainable. Let's go find him. Where is he? Where's the post? But yeah, it really just does go to show that cryptocurrencies are a super volatile environment. Ethereum Classic is another example of just something that really, like, what's been happening with Ethereum Classic. Have you heard of any projects on it? I mean, I know I haven't gone out of my way to like research and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that even if we go on Ethereum Classic here and look at their social feed and at some of the websites that are reporting on it, we won't find much because I just don't think there's anything substantial happening with it anymore. So go on their website, we'll go on social, and we'll see what we find. Well, they have got timeline. That's kind of cool. Whereabouts are we? Oh, I mean that doesn't really fill you with confidence, does it? Their timeline stops on March the 1st this year. That's not good, is it? That's not good. Where's the forward thinking bit? Where's the plans? So that's a bad start. Price analysis. Oh, is that a roadmap? Do I see a roadmap? It's on GitHub. What are we on? Emerald Wallet. Like, there is activity. There is still some activity, but not much. Probably more than a lot of coins, but I don't know. It really doesn't feel like they've got a place in the market anymore. Write to him, say I'm on Twitch. You're live on Twitch. Tell me why Ethereum Classic has value. Electronium. You know what I did actually? Because I was curious. I installed the Electronium wallet on my phone. The Electronium app on my phone. Do you want to see all the amazing things you can do with this app? Oh, it's loading. Oh, there's an update available. Another one. So I'll show you some of the really cool features of this app. So like here's the settings page. Oh, you can't see a thing. It's very saddening. Here's the settings page, as you can see. It's got like a version number. Oh, it's amazing. It's got my email address on there, so you can all email me. Please don't. Please don't. And then there's your wallet. Ooh, look at that wallet. It's so wallety. Let's see what we can do with it. Oh, oh, we can't do anything. Yeah, no, we can't do anything. What about the miner? Maybe we can start using the mobile miner. This is a really mobile-focused cryptocurrency. Maybe we can use the miner for something. Oh no, we can't do that either. Oh, and anyone who actually, yeah, leaked. Anyone who actually, yeah, I should have full screened it. You're right. My bad. My bad. Anyone who bought during the ICO, oh, you can't sell your coins yet or trade them or anything either. Just so you know, or even move them to a real wallet. In fact, you don't even have any yet. The whole thing is just a joke. Because Apple aren't innovators. Apple are aggregators. They aggregate great technology and put it all in one place and make it easy to use. But they're never the early adopters, and I'm an early adopter. So I go where the new stuff is. Oh man, I'm definitely getting emails now. It's not that Apple are bad. Apple are a great company. And they're going to continue to do very, very well and be really profitable, I'm sure. But they're never the first mover into a market, generally speaking. The iPhone was kind of an exception. Even then, they weren't really the first people to do that. Other people had tried and failed, is all. No one else had done it well. And they were the first people to do it well. Like a lot of people credit iTunes as being like, a first mover thing as well. But again, it was the same situation. Other people had already tried it, and some of them were reasonably successful even, but they just weren't as good. I probably should, yeah. Oh no. I have to change email address now, aren't I? I liked that email address. Oh, what, my Electronium wallet that has nothing in it because it's not even a wallet. It's just a series of pictures inside an app. You literally can't do anything in this app. There's just 3 tabs of static information. It's just pointless. You can change the language. That's it. That's literally it. Yeah, yeah, I can elaborate on that. I did that this morning and it was a mistake. I thought the price had gone down by $100 and was $100 lower than where I sold it at. So I bought it and then I realized no, it's actually just a bit higher than where I sold at. So those 2 trades were a mistake. And the most recent one was a stop loss. So that was there for protection reasons, but it triggered early. Not much you can do about it. These things happen. Electronium's not Mt. Gox all over again. BitConnect is Mt. Gox all over again. Electronium is like a junior version of that. Because there isn't actually that much money in it in comparison with something like BitConnect. Like we go on CoinMarketCap, we go on BCC. If this thing collapses, which it will have to at some point, if this thing collapses, then it's a scam not far off the levels of Bernie Madoff in reality. Because you're talking about $500 million, more than that. It must be more than that. Let's just go on the list of everything. Where is it? Oh. What? How? Have I missed something? Has this just like tanked? I'm really confused now. It was like 4th. I didn't have any sort of a filter on, did I? It was below dash earlier. It was below dash earlier, wasn't it? It was at like 1 point something billion dollars market cap, and now it's at half a million. Half a million? Half a billion. Oh, we need to find a price on like an exchange. It's not even on any decent exchanges. Wow, all of their volumes coming from. All of their volume is coming from here. Which isn't useful because that's not what I want to measure it on. This isn't useful. Has it just lost? I'm so confused. Has it just lost, just shed a crap load of its value? I feel like it has. I feel like it's just literally like between me looking at it earlier and looking at it now. Yeah, check Twitter. Good idea. I want a hashtag for it really. Should have searched a hashtag. Is there a hashtag for it in any of these posts? There's not, so I have to search the hashtag. There's a lot of it going around now. What's this? Western coin. I don't see anything about it. I never noticed that about the exchange thing before, that 95% plus of its volume is coming from that one exchange. Yeah, like the price is still the same, but it feels like they've just like removed a bunch of supply or something. How can it drop that much? Yeah, I don't know. I think something's gone on. As I said earlier, like now that Vitalik has come out and said that it's probably a Ponzi scheme, something's happened for sure. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what. Because it just doesn't make sense. How can it go from here down to here in such a small amount of time, but still say that it's up for the day and still have the chart in the same direction? The only way is if they reduce the supply. Did they reduce the supply? Somehow? There's a rich list. Ah, this cryptocurrency is just insane. I really like my brain is just melting now. I don't know what's happened. Here, maybe. Because that doesn't seem right either. That seems like it's really low. Less supply. Well, it depends. It depends. I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess it would be a higher price. They kind of just inflated the supply though. Yeah, the graph shows it as being the same. Like, this is the best thing about BitConnect. Their marketing is literally a pyramid. It's literally a pyramid. It's like they're actually showing you a pyramid scheme. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. We need to stop looking at it. Let's go back on Etoro. Oh man, should have kept some more of my dash. Oh well, my wallet will be happy, but on here not as much. I thought earlier that dash was running a bit slower than everything else, and I wasn't sure why. But Tesla's trying desperately to get back up to that 300 mark. Like, there's not much to say about the markets today, to be honest. Like, I might have to cut this stream really short because there's just not that much point in streaming. There's nothing to trade. We just hodl for the moment. Facebook's dropped. Facebook's dropped a reasonable amount, actually. He says. Clearly wrong. Clearly I am a noob. Okay, no, yeah, Facebook's dropped. So I sold three or four positions in Facebook. Three positions. I sold three positions in Facebook, so yeah, that's not too bad. 181, 179, 181. And we're at 177, 178 kind of range now. So maybe I could rebuy into this actually with a bit of that money, like another 250 or so. Let's take a look at their chart. Let's do some analysis. Let's do some TA. Let's have a little poke around. First things first. Let's put in some lines. Let's put in some lines, yo. Some horizontals. Let's play a game of spot the resistance and support levels. What are we on? 1 hour. That's okay. These are like really... These like line up perfectly with where the lines are on the chart. That's quite funny. Garmin. Yeah, there is one there. Where's the top? That's definitely one there. This is so funny how they've lined up perfectly with these things. That literally never happens. There you go. Look, it's not lined up anymore. It's just I just have to zoom a different amount so it doesn't line up. So that one's actually a little bit below the line. And less data to go off, but it looks like there's one around about here. Probably a little bit higher than the line. 177.85, which is exactly where we are price-wise at the moment. So, if it's sitting on support at the moment, we want to buy just below it probably, because it could well just sit and stay on that support. There's another line here as well. Okay, so yeah, ideally we want to buy like between 178 and like 177, I guess. Let's check how that looks on some other timescales, see if it still looks sensible. It hasn't actually switched, has it? Did it switch? Okay, yeah, it did switch. 1 day. Looks sensible on 1 day as well. Maybe this one not so much. Possibly. Let's go on a 15-minute and see how it looks on that. Pretty sensible there as well. So that's good. I believe in our lines. We've got some good lines. Revised circulating supply. There you go. Thank you for researching that. Can you find out what exactly they did to it? They must have... What would they have done? They can't have increased the inflation rate. That would be insane. Surely that would be insane. What could they have done? The statistics on my page are accurate. Like, there are people that have been copying me since the start of the year that are a few percent off what I've got, and that'll be because they would have copied open positions. So the statistics on Etoro are correct. No, I'm pretty sure they're right. They sometimes break when I get like payments into my account and stuff because it gets confused. And the same can happen on your account. If you deposit extra money onto your account, it can kind of screw your stats a bit. But I haven't deposited anything onto my account in, you know, like a year, so or withdrawn anything. So it should be accurate. Very much enjoyed the last video, by the way, Thomas. Very good. You need to become just a full-time YouTuber. Also, you should. You're like a weird. You're like a historian for Malta. Yes. When I get payments through, it tends to break it for like a day or maybe like a weekend, depending when they pay me. But after that, not so much. I think you should split off into another series of just doing history lessons about Malta. I genuinely, I was watching that thinking I should go to Malta and just ask Thomas to give me a tour. Also, every time I look at your profile recently, I get even more depressed about about your leverage trades. I looked at your history a few days ago. I can't remember why. I looked at your history a few days ago and just saw like a gold at minus 52%. I think it was gold. It might have been oil or something. It's some commodity, and I just wanted to cry a little bit. You have to stop it. You don't have the YouTube revenue to support it yet. Once you've got enough copiers, you can just lose money all the time anyway. Enough followers on YouTube. Get some ad revenue on the go. Oh dear, I forgot what I was doing now. Did I accidentally just close the chart? Okay, there we go. Back on the chart. Back on Facebook. So yeah, we're drawing some trend lines. Arguably, you could probably fit one here because it looks spacing wise right, but there's very little support it. We've only really got one connection point because it doesn't quite line up over here. And again, like if we go onto like a 4-hour chart and stuff, it really doesn't look right. I generally sell them when they're green. That's my tactic. Unless I'm really confident that I've made a mistake. At which point I sell them in red. Yeah, I guess you've got the wicks of these candles on the 4-hour chart that line up, so I guess we could put a line there, but I don't think it's really actually going to provide any real support or resistance. So I think basically we've concluded that if we want to buy some Facebook, we want to buy it under $78 at the moment. Oh, Jesus. And we are just under it at the moment, and it's like creeping up on the price. So I might go and put in a little order, not much below what the price is now. 275. So it's roughly 1%. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's the rate. That's the rate. Always double check. Always double check what you're doing when you're setting up your orders. Because if I'm buying it at 275, that's not going to end well for me. So we want to buy at once. Oh, that's a 7. This isn't going very well at all, is it? 177 point. 177.71. That's what I'm going to go with. I feel like it can drop that low. And we could set a take profit here as well, but we'll come back and edit that in a bit, I think. So we're going to set the order open now. Let's go back to our chart. This is like tutorial mode, Jay. Good job, Rob. I think everyone has done that at some point. I've done it. I've definitely done it. Okay, so we've set up our order. Let's go see where we want to take profit and how much profit we can actually make. So we're looking at a 15-minute chart because we're going to do a quick trade. So we could try and take profit basically at the top of this range, but if we measure the percentage, where's measure? It's there. It's literally at the top. How did I miss that? So if I measure from like here to here, you can see at the bottom it says how much percentage it is. So it's only 0.8%. So what I really should have done is open that on 2 times leverage. But I didn't. So I'm going to go change it because we haven't actually bought it yet, hopefully. So go down here, let's close that, let's remake it. And let's use 2 times leverage. And then that way we can get 1.6%, which is actually good. Da, da, da. So we'll do an order, 177.71, 275, 2 times leverage. So we don't want to hold it for too long, otherwise we're going to lose any profit we do make. I want to set a take profit amount. I didn't want amount, I want rate at 179. Probably a bit under that because round numbers are always bad for buying and selling stuff. 0.97. So $3.90. We have to pay 6 cents, maybe at most 18 cents if we hold it over the weekend, but we don't expect to. Stop loss, we should set somewhere sensible like 176. So our stop loss, yeah, that's not good enough, is it? It needs to be way higher than that. We could do 177. 177 is a little bit close. Like this is a very small range to be trading in. But like our risk to reward ratio is still pretty good here. And we can set a trailing stop loss on it as well. Boom. This is like a little experiment. We can see how it plays out. Look forward to Malta. Yeah. He sold me on Malta as well. I want to move there now. Oh man, I've missed loads of comments. I started with about $3,000 on Etoro. I built it up to about $18,000. Then I withdrew almost all of it to put down as part of my deposit for my house. And then I built it up from there to where it is today. I think I deposited a few times. I think I might have deposited maybe like 7,000 or so back onto the website this year. So I guess I turned like 10,000 into what it is now, which actually percentage-wise makes sense. It's about right. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's been a flop. Ethereum, if you actually look at it, has been a lot more stable than most of the other altcoins. Ethereum and Dash are the two that held their ground probably the best, and Litecoin. But if you look at stuff like NEM and Neo, Qtum, like all of these other ones, most of them suffered a lot more than those three did. Those three held their ground reasonably well against Bitcoin. Yeah, I haven't really seen too much of it yet. There's been some pretty interesting stuff. There's a guy who's like working on Ethereum for like transactions for like near field like drop-offs of stuff. So kind of like Amazon parcel deliveries and things like that, where you can like pay fees for like lending people tools, for example. You could have like a little cupboard that has a bunch of tools in it, and then if someone takes it out, they can, swipe their phone against it and do a bunch of cool stuff with it. But yeah, I haven't seen too much of DevCon actually. I was hoping to have watched more of it. I'm probably going to go sort of seek out the videos afterwards. Um, there's some. It is very techy though. There's some good stuff coming out of it. Crazy that you start with 3K. Yeah, compound interest will do that. Activision is melting. Do you think it can recover to where it started today? Um, Probably not. I sold one of my positions. Oh wow, it really is melting. Jesus. You weren't wrong. That's a substantial drop. What is that percentage wise? Minus 4%, 4.5%. That's pretty substantial. And again, pretty unjustified as well. Yeah, USA doesn't like CFDs. Um, yeah, I mean, like, I might rebuy that Activision that I sold earlier at this price. Why not? Closed it at 63.36. It's now 62 something. So I could reopen that pretty happily. I might do that. Let's go draw some lines on Activision because that seems like a good thing to trade right now. Oh, look at that. Crazy. Crazy. Full screen. Let's put it on a 1 hour chart for drawing our lines. And we're going to want horizontal tool. Come on, load. Please load. Thank you. Okay. So, this is actually a pretty difficult one, you know? This is a really difficult one. It's just a little bit all over the place, isn't it? May have to use a 4 hour chart. It's just big candles. They're really long candles. Okay, let's start up here. So there's one here. We can see that pretty clearly. About there. So 64.9. Let's keep going. Let's draw some more horizontals. Another one here. But it's not that strong. It's only really this area that's supporting that, so I'm not sure if that's correct. These are really really difficult to see. Hmm. I can't believe how like long all the candles are on this. It's insane. So there's one here. It's difficult because there's so many long candles that you always have candles that are just going straight through some of these levels. Which isn't a good thing because it shows that the levels don't have very much support in them. And there's another one down here, which aligns with the top back over here as well. I think I'm missing some lines from this though. Like I'm missing one in the middle here somewhere, but I just can't. Oh, it's there. I literally just put my mouse on it and I just like realized immediately that that's where it is. Okay. So we're pretty much bang on that support line now. Now there's got to be one in the middle somewhere, but it's really difficult to see. I'm gonna kind of go with here, but I think it might be up here. It's somewhere between this area. I'm gonna put a channel in actually, just so I know that it's somewhere between these points. It's somewhere between there as a support line. It could be the bottom of it, it could be the top of it, it could be just kind of like a weird wishy-washy point in the middle. I don't know. I really don't know. But what I do know is that, again, we're sitting on a support level, so now is a good time to buy. And this one's got a much... Yeah, that red candle is insane. Da 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 da. Oh, I just read your comment. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm content with that. So we're actually below that support line. I think they're above. Yeah, it's very difficult. How long have you been copying him for? I've been saying for some time that I don't rate Fastic. I don't know what these tunes are. I just like make sounds. I have no idea where they come from. Da 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 da. I I think I'm going to buy some Activision now at this price. It's the same price I got in at before as well, more or less. If I go back on my history, it's below what I got in at before. So I think that was the sale price that was at that level. Yeah, I'm gonna buy some. I think it's a good price. How much did I sell? It was like 300 and something. We'll do 300 again, and we'll do 1 times leverage. Because I don't think we really need 2 times leverage on this one. And we're actually just going to straight up open this one instead of put an order down. Let's go back onto the chart and decide where I want to take profit with that position. Probably at like 64 kind of level. Yeah, before here. Which is still like plenty of room for us to make money. Like, let's measure it. Let's measure it again, shall we? So we've bought around here, so a bit higher than that price because we bought the buy price. We want to measure up to around, let's say, 64.66. 3.6%. I will take that. So let's set our take profit on that position. $64.54. That seems all right to me. $10 profit. Stop loss at 61. Yeah, that's fine. No trailing stop loss. Let me see if that Facebook position opened. Hasn't opened yet. Hello, DJ. Lots of topics. Lots of topics. I think the problem is, Thomas, and this is actually a problem on eToro in general. There are a lot of traders on eToro who have good statistics because they bought some Bitcoin and they bought some Ethereum. And some of them even bought it on leverage and they just held it. Or even if they traded it reasonably badly. It is a bit low, but I don't want it to trigger by accident. And I'm still not convinced that I drew those lines in exactly the right place. It could still go down, yeah. But yeah, no, I think the problem is that I go on here and I look at traders and let's remove all the filters. Oh, keep removing. Okay. I'll just order it by copies, right? And we'll just go down. Right. Wesley, smart guy, good trader, respect his opinion. He understands how cryptocurrencies work and what they are. Um, I disagree with him on Ripple, but like, he knows what he's doing. This guy, I don't know if he's traded much crypto. Doesn't have any at the moment. Um, let's go into his history and see if we can spot anything obvious. So it looks good on this guy as well. Not too much. Few bits here and there. But they look like reasonably sensible trades. Maybe not. Maybe not all of them are sensible. This is the thing, like, I think what you really need to do when you decide to copy someone, if they're trading cryptos, you need to look at their posts and see what they actually post about crypto. Wesley will post information that is relevant to cryptocurrencies and discuss it with people. So will Liam, so will I. Big Fish used to when he was a popular investor. Mr. Thor will talk about it. He mainly uses it as like a hedge against the markets, actually, from what I can see. Um, like there's a lot of people doing that, but you go on Fastic's wall, and he doesn't understand cryptocurrencies, and he doesn't really discuss cryptocurrencies and like why he thinks things have value. The big thing that I look for in people that you're copying to know for sure if they know anything about cryptocurrencies is if they own any Ethereum Classic. If they own Ethereum Classic, then you need to just steer clear. Like that's the number one warning sign. Another warning sign would be if they own like disproportionately large amounts of like Ripple, for example. And I think the best thing to do before you copy someone is ask them about their positions. Why do they think that Ripple is going to go up in value? Oh yeah, you are correct. Thanks for pointing that out. I don't have lines drawn here. I have my lines on here for AMD. So where are we? All the way down here. Sitting in the middle of this range. I don't think it's really that much resistance here. I don't think it's strong resistance. We should go above it and back up to 1125. In my opinion. In my opinion. 11 acted as resistance a lot in the past, but it just doesn't seem to be as strong as it used to be. Like it acted as resistance here, you can see as well. And even like back here, it did a little bit, but I actually think that the main support is below that at 1080. Diversify with more AMD. Crypto fund in theory is actually really good. The problem with the crypto fund is that it rebalances too often. And it should like rebalance over time. It should like only close positions if they're green or something. I don't know. It needs some sort of more direct management, but the idea of weighting it based off of market cap is actually a good one, I think. It's never going to be like the best and the most efficient, but it should mean that you never miss out on anything entirely, and that you're always kind of slightly following the trend upwards of the market overall. I saw Hasbro had a massive drop after its earnings, but I don't think it's something I'm interested in trading, to be honest. It's a bit too far out of my like sphere of knowledge. It's mainly profit taking. They beat their earnings, but again, like potentially bad outlook for the next few quarters in comparison to what it has been with their growth. I just bought some Activision, so so I read into that what you will. I just bought one position in Activision. Here it is. It's my Facebook position opened yet. Come on. Maybe I set it a bit too low. The thing is, it's not worth opening unless I get it that low. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Um, in theory, it's a really good portfolio balance actually, but in reality, it's a bit clunky. It needs a bit of human input. Um, so yeah, I've said for a while that I'm not a big fan of the crypto fund. Like I'm not again, like I think the idea of it is good, but I think that in reality the way it performs just isn't quite right. It just doesn't have that human touch of knowing that, oh, this is a temporary drop, and knowing that it shouldn't rebalance now because now is a bad time to rebalance, sort of thing. What we really need is a J Smith, a jaynemesis copy fund, crypto copy fund, and they should give me access to all of the cryptocurrencies. Would you guys copy it? I'll rebalance it like every week, but only if I think it's worth rebalancing. So every week I have an opportunity once a week to rebalance, but I don't. There you go. How's that sound? Let's make it happen. Start a petition. What would my strategy be? I think my strategy would be to outperform the crypto copy fund. I think my strategy would basically be to maintain a very well diversified crypto portfolio that still performs well. So it won't outperform Bitcoin, almost certainly. Probably won't outperform several cryptocurrencies, but would be very well diversified. I should screenshot this and just send it to Etoro. They'd probably let me do it if I asked them, actually. Maybe. I don't know. It would be difficult for them to give me access to a lot of cryptocurrencies, I think. But there might be a way of doing it. Like maybe if it was a fully CFD portfolio, and it wasn't real crypto, they might be able to do it because they could just like give me like 100 Bitcoin to move around and then base the CFDs off of that or whatever. So back it up with real crypto behind the scenes somehow, but not offer that to the people that are directly investing. Yeah, I think it will continue the trend. As I said, I think it's plateauing. I don't think it's dropping. This is another plateau, and it's going to bounce up above 7,500, I think. Which is why I rebought after my stop loss kicked in. My prediction for Bitcoin over the next 12 months will probably blow a lot of your minds. I don't know if I want to say it because it's pretty out there. But my prediction last year was pretty out there, and that was actually too conservative. But I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, I think by the end of the year, $8,000 to $10,000, and next year, $20,000 to $30,000 by the end of next year. And it is as mad as it sounds, it could be more than that. Actually, it all comes down to the SEC. It comes down to ETF and futures. But the futures, the CME futures that they're doing from CME Group, if that is allowed through by the SEC, then all of the ETFs will probably reapply, and probably all of them will get approved, I think, or at least one of them will. Probably the coin ETF will almost certainly get approved because they've got so much liquidity now, especially now that the price has gone up in Bitcoin, so it's a more liquid market in general. I did the maths earlier. They bought about $40 million worth of Bitcoin at around about $300 or below when the Winklevoss bought in. So now they have almost $1 billion of Bitcoin for their ETF. That's a lot of market depth. Could you imagine 10 times leverage on that? But yeah, no, it's getting to the point where I'm in a similar mindset to it as I was in 2012, 2013 period, where I just realized the potential it had, um, to the point where I'm now thinking continually, if I have an extra £1,000 in the bank, I'm thinking I could put that into Bitcoin. I should put that into Bitcoin. I'm not because I'm being sensible, but like there is a massive part of me that just wants to take every payment I'm getting from Etoro and just put it all into Bitcoin. That probably would piss them off, yeah. Oh, I didn't check Apple's earnings. What happened with Apple's earnings? I always do that. I always put APPL instead of AAPL. Ooh, they had a good day. They hit their earnings. Same thing though, profit taking after earnings. It's like the theme of this earnings season. Everyone's taking their profit and putting it into Bitcoin. Dash recovered further than I thought it would actually. I should have kept my Dash trade open a bit longer. I closed a trade that I had open in it for like 2.5% profit. Not very much really. They're back at basically the altcoins have gone back to the level they were when I closed them to buy Bitcoin, more or less. I would still suggest that if you decide to copy me, that the safe thing to do is to copy new positions, not open positions. Or if you copy open positions, maybe consider just closing a few of the ones that are really high in green for me, just to kind of protect yourself a bit. from potential drawdown. Because as I keep saying, like if Bitcoin goes like 7,500, for example, now from where we are now, let's say you copy me now, it goes up to 7,500 and then it crashes. Sure, I'll probably cash a few out higher than where you bought in, but most of them will be lower than where you bought in. You'll lose a reasonable chunk of money, whereas I would effectively have sold those in profit for a lot of them. Yeah, my order's open. Woohoo! That was maybe a bit too jubilant, wasn't it? So our trade in Activision is profitable. Good times. See, when people say that day trading is dead, it's not dead. It's just like the risk reward ratios aren't as good as they used to be. They're not as volatile as they used to be. It's more difficult. You have to use leverage. It's like a lot of stress. It's just not worth it, really. Because like this trade, like I've sat here on stream with you guys. Like if I wasn't a popular investor, if I wasn't making money from you guys, I wouldn't be able to justify doing this full time still. Because you just need so much money really to make it worthwhile. But I may adjust the stop loss on this soon just to keep it in profit. I'll probably wait until like 0.4, 0.5% profit before I adjust it. You shouldn't close your copy at all, I don't think. Because I like having your money invested in me. No. I don't understand why you would want to close the copy. I don't really understand what you gain from doing that. Unless you really don't trust me, which is understandable. I'm not a very trustworthy person. Yeah, that's very true, Bitmad. I mean, that's effectively what I've just done with Activision. I could go do that with Apple now, but there's no data to work off because it's so much higher than it was before. Whereas this was in a price range where I can quite easily see the support resistance levels. I say easily, it was really difficult to spot them on here. Oh, we're at that point. Time to change the stop loss. Let's up it and set it as trailing. Oop, that's a 6. And we'll set that as trailing stop loss. So that should, I didn't want to, yeah, there we go. So now we're guaranteed to make break even unless there's like insane slippage or profit, hopefully profit. It's a little bit risky setting the stop loss this early. In fact, I might turn it off trailing just for now. I have a house, so yes. I live in a house that I own about 70% of now, so yes. Oh, there we go. By the way, if any of you are wondering why I haven't stood up at my desk for ages, it's because I accidentally kind of broke it. That's a loose connection on the wire, and it involves me taking the top of the desk off to fix. So I'm just procrastinating and putting it off. Yeah, so 30% of the house is currently inhabited by the bank. They live there. Nationwide have like rented a room. Uh, yeah, some of the copy funds are actually very, very good. and I will be using some of them. Whoa, that's a bit direct, a bit mad. When we purchased it, it was £255,000. The UK is expensive. The UK is really expensive because we're in the commuter belt to London. It's 45 minutes to London from here, so you know, you buy a 2 or 3 bedroom house in a rubbish area and it's still worth £250,000. Yeah, mental house prices. Mental house prices indeed. But I'm not complaining because I have a house and most people my age don't. So no, because it doesn't actually have a door. Our cupboard under the stairs. I'll tell you what, I like one day I'm going to do like a house tour video or something for you guys because it's just hilarious. We bought this house and like the person we bought it off covered up so many little things that were just weird and wrong about the house. And you just discover them all after you buy it. Okay, I'm setting this as trailing now. And at 0.4, just so we actually make a profit. 5 cents, yo. And that's why you have to copy me with at least $1,000. Because if you don't, that'll be 0 even though I get 5 cents. You're losing out. That goes for you too, Ed, if you're still watching. Ed, Thomas, if you're still watching. You need to up your copy so you make more out of it. I know you have it. I've seen it in your videos. Stop buying gold. Yeah, I mean, like, there is definitely a point at which where I should move house, because I don't live in the best area at the moment. So security-wise, having this much money on my Etoro and stuff when there are people like this in this neighborhood isn't great. It's not terrible, but yeah, this is an ex-council house, so yeah. So I guess you can kind of tell what the area is like around here. I was telling you off for not having more money on your eToro account, Thomas. Reinvest that YouTube ad money. Um, no, I probably won't really be able to afford to do that. I would rather sell it and buy a house worth double the amount at some point. I think basically I probably won't move until I've paid off the mortgage fully and own the house outright. And then I'll look to go and get another mortgage for like 50% ownership of the house, which is basically what we did here. Short oil. You get paid for shorting oil, I discovered. Look, does it tell me, look, total refunds. I've made 15 cents from shorting. And go look at the price. Let's go look at the price. Look at the chart. Probability wise, I think it's looking pretty good that it should drop. Let's go on to the day chart. Look at that. That is a classic cup and handle right there. So we need a handle that comes down here. So $50, $51, something like that. Get out, short it, make a profit, also get refunds. Yeah, Patreon's really cool. I'd donate to you. You should just put up a Bitcoin donation address, Thomas. Make a Bitcoin wallet. Go download Exodus.io and then just put your Bitcoin address in the bottom of all your videos. And then you don't need to bother with a Patreon. And you probably won't get very much, but it doesn't hurt, does it? People didn't get many, people who got like $1, $2, $3 tips to their Bitcoin wallet 5 years ago are pretty happy about it now. No, I think trading should be taxed. I think it should be taxed. It is for the good of the country. I am earning a substantial amount of money, most of which I don't need. So I should be taxed. It should go to the government so they can spend it responsibly on something else. It's just very unfortunate that our government at the moment isn't a very responsible one. Like people keep telling me like move to Singapore, move to Ukraine is the latest one because they've just changed their laws on cryptocurrency. Well, they haven't changed it yet, but they're proposing it. So they're proposing to remove all taxation on income from cryptocurrency mining or staking, stuff like that, and trading. So yeah, capital gains tax isn't too bad. Yeah, I do remember that. Like even the guy who held up the sign in the trial in the US. You know, like all these people that have done like these weird things and just like shown a Bitcoin sign somewhere random on TV have made good money out of it. When am I doing my blog post about the top 10 people? So I've started preparing it. I've started writing down top 10 people to copy. But I haven't finished it yet. So like I'm effectively like part of the way through the blog post. I've done like 30% of it or something. Oil TP I'll probably set at like 51. At the moment it's not set. Let's go set it at 51, just for the sake of it. No, 50.81 is fine. That'll do. Da, 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 da. No government is responsible. Yep, that's also true. But that's why we need cryptocurrencies to continue developing. Because if we can build decentralized governance that works, then we don't need governments anymore. We can govern ourselves and do a better job of it. Stop wasting so much money and stop screwing over vast sections of society. I've traded oil before. I've traded oil before, actually, and gold. And I've always done okay at them, but I don't do it very often. But it was actually it's actually like my renewed sense of hope in solar actually that's starting to drive it, and battery power, and like Tesla's model and all this kind of stuff that's starting to drive it. I just think that we're going to hit peak oil demand in about 5 years time, and that it's going to start dropping after that because solar power will be just so much cheaper than everything else, and that will force a movement away from oil-based vehicles and things like that. We're still going to need oil for a lot of things, but um, if cars start to change, which they already have, then that's the beginning of the end of oil, in terms of what it is today, at least. Mariano Pardo, I quite like. He's pretty good. ATVI closed. No, did it hit stop loss? I missed that. I wasn't looking. Oh, that's all right. We made a little bit of money. I'm okay with that. It was a cheeky little day trade. You know, if you do one of those every day with more money than I put into it, then you're good. Unfortunately, I only put a little bit into it because I want to be safe and responsible. But this trade was about 1.1% of my portfolio, and we made 0.5% on it. So if you copy me with $200, that means that you only had $2 in the trade, roughly, which means that you made 0.5% of that. So you only made something small, something very, very small. Peak oil has already happened. Peak oil overall. So peak oil production has already happened. Peak oil demand still hasn't happened. Yes, I believe that the demand for oil will begin to drop soon. And that's primarily due to movements towards locally grown food and locally produced things, 3D printing, things like that, which removes the need for us to ship, for example, a door handle across the world, because if you can just 3D print one in your country, then you're good on that. It's effectively transportation is where I think the oil demand is going to drop massively, because electric car sales are projected to hit 1% of all cars sold next year will be electric. And I expect that it will effectively become an almost exponential growth. So I think that the year after it could be 3%, and the year after that it could be 8%, and the year after that it could be 15%. So it doesn't take very long before we go from having 0.01% of cars on the road being electric, which is where we are now, to having 10% of cars being electric in 5 years. It's pretty doable. In 10 years, pretty likely that we could see, especially if governments start to incentivize it, then we could see it, 50, 60% plus. I have invested in Tesla. But right now isn't a very good time to invest in Tesla, I don't think. It's not a terrible time, which is why I still have 2 positions in it. But I'm waiting to open up more, probably after the next quarter. I do have Telegram now, actually. I installed it 2 days ago. But I use the Discord for the most part. Kramer's bullish on ATVI, but not on AMD. Unbelievable. I'm going to set in another order back at the level that we bought this at, which was at like 39, right? And we're going to rinse and repeat, but I think I'll do it without leverage. Did I do it with leverage last time? I can't remember. No, it's the Facebook one I used leverage on. And take profit was 64.6, I think, wasn't it? Oh, that would be a really big number. No, I will not use 10x for many reasons. First of all, popular investors aren't allowed to. In fact, I don't even think it's an option for popular investors. Yeah, only goes up to 5. We're not even allowed to use 5x, but I've done it by accident before, including quite recently on AMD. So yeah, and honestly, it's just irresponsible. It's irresponsible to use that much, because that, like, a couple of pips and you're making and losing a substantial amount of money. So 2x leverage is the most I go to, for the most part. Nuclear power, I used to think was the solution, but I don't think it is anymore. The amount of subsidies you have to pay for it is just too high. And although in the UK and like Northern Europe solar power isn't that good, the rest of the world solar power is it's cheaper than anything else. It's cheaper than natural gas. It's cheaper than coal. It's cheaper than wind. It's cheaper than everything. There are some areas of the world where you can pay two cents per kilowatt for solar power compared to 5-6 cents for coal, for example. And by some areas of the world, I basically mean everywhere between like Spain and probably like Argentina. Everywhere in between there, like hemisphere wise, you can get between 3 and 5 cents per kilowatt on solar power. And it will pay for itself within like 6 months. No, it would not. Just make sure that you put the public address. If you're using Exodus, that's fine because it hides the private address from you anyway. You can still extract it if you need to, which I would recommend doing, by the way. So you can go into the debug console and like use a command to extract the private keys, and then you should probably like save them on a USB stick or something, or put them in a password protected file somewhere, just so you have them just in case your PC explodes, Thomas. But it does have like set up your two-factor authentication, things like that as well. The problem with nuclear is the cost of storage for the depleted fuel. That's the problem, and that's also where the safety problem is, actually, more than anything else. I mean, like, I was a really big fan of thorium reactors, but they just never seem to take off. Maybe I don't know enough about it, but I genuinely think that nuclear power is actually not the future anymore. Yeah, thorium reactors looked so promising, but they were just never invested in. And there's still no major usage of it anywhere, which makes me sad. Oh, our position for Activision is opened already. Or has it? Yeah, it's opened already. Chernobyl's hiding in its new shell. The other big problem with nuclear is that as long as nuclear exists, people will use it as an excuse to develop things they shouldn't be developing as well. Like again, like nuclear could have been really good, but realistically, there is always risk with nuclear, even if that risk is terrorist attacks. That is still a risk that I don't think really, when you have solar available and wind these days, I don't think it's justifiable. Because you can build solar and wind cheaper than you can, and faster, more importantly. That's the most important thing about nuclear, actually, is how long it takes to build the reactors. You're talking 25 years for like from planning to build. So the man called napalm. Calculation on the amount of power required to replace fossil fuels, not possible with solar. It's possible with solar in 1% of the land. In fact, probably less, but currently in 1% of the land. We could use 1% of our planet's land in Africa, fill it with solar panels, the size of a small nation, and we would have enough power to power everything. Now, the problem is obviously that we've got to build that many solar powers and set them all up, and then the cost of transporting the electricity, all of these kind of things are the problem. You, I feel like you really need to go and check out just how efficient solar panels actually are now. There's a really good chart that I saw the other day. I'm going to see if I can find it. Oh man, I'm not going to find it. I'm going to draw it on MS Paint. Yeah, I know it's not like accurate, and you'll have to go and find a source, but I just have to show you it because it's hilarious. There is an actual chart that compares. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's use some straight lines. This is amazing. So there's an actual chart that does this, and you can go and find, and it's got all the sources of all the information in it and stuff, and it shows the cost of different things over time, right? And you've got like coal that's just like trundle. Oh, I need to change that back to the old type of line. You've got coal, right, which is just kind of like trundled. Oh my god, that's too thin. This is terrible. Ooh, ink. Let's go with that. Ooh, look at that. That's beautiful. So you've got coal that's like trundling along down here. And then you have, more recently, natural gas, which started out quite a bit more expensive and has kind of slowly come down like this. Um, and you have a bunch of different things. You've got wind power, which like only really started. So this is like 30-year time scale. Wind power, which like started all the way over here and it's kind of gone like that. And you have nuclear power, which actually has done the opposite. It's gone up in price. So nuclear power started here. It's slowly kind of gone up a little bit. And it's now about here. This is what solar did on the chart. This is what solar did. Solar started way up here. It costed $77 per kilowatt about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, somewhere around there. And it's just done this. And it's now literally about here. And this is on average across the globe. So in Germany and stuff, that's where it's holding the price up here. In reality, if you go to Nevada, places like that, Dubai, it's cheaper than these. And this trend shows no sign of slowing down. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I need to find you guys a video and link you to it because there was a talk recently about it, and it's just it blows my mind. Blows my mind. Good chart that, wasn't it? Yeah, about the size of Texas sounds about right. It's the reason Elon Musk built the Gigafactory the size he built it, because he did the maths himself and said that 100 factories of that scale would be enough to provide all of the batteries required for Earth. That would provide enough battery production for all of Earth. Yes, it is. It's very, very saddening how much solar panels are for retail. And it's what's even more saddening is that a lot of governments are actually making it worse, making the situation worse. Like they're taxing it. Not even that they're just not subsidizing it, but that they're taxing it. Really, it should be subsidized because the other amazing, absolutely amazing thing about solar is that it does also provide the opportunity to decentralize power, to become self-sustaining on power for every single individual is something that is just, an insanely good thing, an inherently just amazing thing. But it's out of reach for normal people currently. In the UK, it certainly is. In the UK, it costs like £5,000 to £10,000 for solar panels on your roof that would cover my usage, which is reasonably heavy. Um, and it would take probably about 7 or 8 years to pay that off, just to pay for itself. Whereas if you do that via someone like First Solar, you do it at an industrial scale and industrial prices, enterprise level, then it'll pay for itself in 6 months. Like the difference is just mind blowing. Yeah, governments don't like decentralizing, and it's really frustrating because we could decentralize that so easily. And actually, there was a cryptocurrency called Solarcoin which wanted to do that. I'm gonna close this trade now. Happy with that. Yeah, decentralized community power generation would be amazing. Um, And the thing is that there was a cryptocurrency that was designed to effectively measure the amount of solar that you're generating and act as a currency for you to transfer that value to and from other people that are also doing the same thing. So it was effectively trying to create a decentralized power grid in a roundabout way. It's not an easy thing to do. I think the the project might be dead now. I can't remember what it was called. Like it might have been Solarcoin or Suncoin or something like that. But yeah, it was interesting. Better than nothing. Yeah, I really want to buy solar panels, like really want to buy solar panels, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be living here long enough to justify it on this house because unfortunately it doesn't carry over to the value of the property in most cases because a lot of people don't like solar panels for some weird reason. Yeah, dream off the grid house, yeah. It is possible. People have done it. Batteries was a bottleneck for the longest period of time. The problem with it now is that it's just not affordable quite yet. It's where Tesla is playing the long game of just trying to build this entire easy package all in one. You buy your battery, you buy your car, you buy your solar roof, and you're done. And from then on, your car is entirely free to use. Your electricity in your house is entirely free to use. You have a nice big battery or two to store it all. Maybe sold a little bit early. Should have stuck to my guns on that one, maybe. We'll see. Let's open another order. We'll just do this all day. Let's see. 62 point. I'm going to go a bit higher this time instead of 3.9 because I don't think it's going to go that low again. In fact, I might even put that a bit higher. Wait, that was definitely on 1 times leverage, wasn't it? I need to check. Ah, you can't check. Ah, it probably was. It'll be fine. Yeah, batteries are still a problem. They last more than a few years though. They last like 15 to 20 years depending. Like you can get some that are designed to last a lot longer, but they're obviously less quick to charge and discharge. So um, it's an area that still needs a lot of development. But just by Elon kind of pushing in that direction, it's forcing other people to compete with him because they can't. No one can afford to let him just take the whole market. Looking for the chick in the red dress. Can't be bothered reading all that. Oh man, I wonder if I'm still winning on this guy's profile. I was winning yesterday. Yes, still winning. Yes. Let's check Bitcoin. I'm not even using my top two screens today. I don't know what's happened to me, but I'm just using like these two screens for some reason. It's getting up there, isn't it? Price is getting up there. Time to start setting some stop losses soon. Should definitely update this one. And this one. And this one. Okay, that'll do. That'll do for now. I'll do the rest later. So actually, it's funny you say that. Funny you say that. This ring here is an NFC ring. So I don't know if you can see that, but there is a little NFC band there, and that points to my Bitcoin address. Oh, Jesus. And this one points to my LinkedIn. So when I'm out and about, I can accept Bitcoin payments through my ring. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. But again, my oil trade is not a short-term trade. My oil trade is like on the daily chart, which means that I'm going to have to wait probably a month or so for it to play out. So like here you can see 1-day chart. Like let's measure how long it took to get from here to here in terms of time, and it's like almost half a year, 6 months from here to here. So realistically, 1 month could maybe see it come down to like here. It's pretty unlikely that will come here in a month. But 3 months is possible. 6 months, I would expect it to have done it within 6 months. So it's a long-term trade, but the important thing is that I'm not paying for it. I get paid for holding it for some weird. Still don't understand why Etoro is doing it, but they are. So I have a cat. I have a cat that's come to visit me. He's quite cold. Oh, did my Activision trade open? No, it didn't. It's heading down though. It's heading down. We're getting there. This is so much fun. Why is Activision being so nice to us today? Let's switch to our 10-minute chart so we can actually see where we've been doing these little trades. Tiny little range. To be fair, that's like well out of position. Oh no, it's not actually. That's in position. I've been buying below the support. So I did a trade here and sold up here, and I bought again here and sold up here. And now we're hopefully going to buy here again. I need like a 1-minute chart to watch these trades. That's hilarious. I don't think I've ever really traded in like a 1-minute time scale before, but apparently I have been just now. Yes, someone found the chart. That is the chart I was talking about. Let me open the original. There you go. This is the solar chart. This is the solar chart. It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, obviously this isn't like showing the whole market, but you get the picture. Solar is just ridiculous. It's mind blowing. I've used the word ridiculous too many times. It's losing its meaning to me. I tell you what, I'm starting to get a lot of followers on Twitter now. It's quite exciting. Yeah, don't be hating on my MS Paint, yo. I got mad skills. Mad skills. I want to get to like 2,000 followers. It's very exciting now that I've started using Twitter. I've been on Twitter for years and like I've just never really used it that actively. But now that I'm at home and I have time, I'm finding Twitter super useful. For cryptocurrencies, yes, it's not too dissimilar to what you just said. It's more like 10% range. Once it's in 10% profit, I'm happy to set a stop loss at like 2 or 3% profit and keep it, around that kind of level behind and ratchet it up over time. Um, but it depends on like where the market's going and like what I'm expecting. It's never like a solid thing that I'm always like, it has to be this. Yeah, I need to start using trading. I need like to sit down and like watch tutorials on how to use TradingView, to be honest. The problem is I don't use very many hashtags. That's the problem, Barb. Hope you don't mind me calling you Barb. It's all right. I'm winning on Etoro. 56,000 followers. It could be that. Oh, that's what I was using. Maybe I'm using it wrong. If you're still watching, Nuggy, that's what I was using. Oh wow, he's got some reasonable stats. He holds Ethereum Classic though, so maybe if he's just trading it actively, then it's not too bad. That was a pretty active trade. That was like over the course of a couple of days. Stats speak for themselves. He seems to be doing okay, to be honest. It looks like pretty good diversification actually, because he does a lot of commodities. I'd still be a bit concerned by how he's been trading Ethereum Classic. Don't think it's wise, but and Ripple as well. No Bitcoin, very little Ethereum. I don't know. I would be a bit wary around him, but his stats are reasonable. His stats are reasonable, and clearly he bought AMD at the same time that I did, but I sold mine. He didn't, and oh no, he just used leverage. That's fine. He is a 6 risk score though, which is pretty high. Yes, show me how to do a fib extension properly on TradingView because I'm apparently incapable of doing it. I don't understand it. Let's go back on Bitcoin where I kept trying it. Okay, Right, let's do an example here, right? I've not seen that before. Oh, that's the wrong one. Is that the wrong one? I think it's the wrong one. Yeah, it's the wrong one. I've lost it. There it is. Found it. It's up here. So yeah, start at the bottom, go to the top, candle to candle. Oh, do I just put it there? Is that how I use it? I don't know. No, that wouldn't be right. Also, I need to... Although that kind of does look a bit right, actually. But yeah. I don't understand why it makes you move another time at the end. What's the last move for? That's how you use it, like I just did it. I just don't understand what the last move is for. Like, I just don't get it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. What I want to do is basically apply the same Fibonacci that applies on here on the top, right? Oh, Jesus. Oh my God, what am I doing? No, remove. Yes, let's make this bigger. Still learning to use this. I do apologize to everyone involved. Okay, so like normal Fibonacci, Fib retracement, easy. I've got it up here. Oh my. When I say easy, what I mean is definitely not easy. Okay, is that the wrong one? Oh, I just broken it again. Okay, we're doing this. There you go. There's a normal fib, right? That works fine. In fact, that looks really good, actually. Hilarious how nicely that lines up. I want to apply this on the top with the same intervals, not with a big gap like this, not with a big one like this, but with the same intervals as this. That's what I want to do. Millions AUM. Third hit is at bottom, is back at bottom. See, I tried doing it back at the bottom, but it didn't work. Yeah, I know I can clone it, but it's not the same. That's really annoying. Why hasn't someone just built it? Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll have to do that. Oh dear. Charts, how do they work? I can't remember which the scenarios were now. I wrote this comment hours ago. Jesus. Stop quizzing me, Smilex. God. Unbelievable. Private profile. Not a fan. Unbelievable. Do an ICO to build it. Oh man. It's all about forks these days. You're missing the point. We've got to do a Bitcoin fork. A Bitcoin fork that supports Fibonacci's. Fib extension specifically. There's 100% something to it. The something to it is, in my opinion, the only thing that's to it is that people have over the years developed tools that have been reasonably accurate in certain situations, and then the more people that learn about it, the more it becomes just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, I think just charts in general, and I think that's why some indicators are so much more popular than others. Is because they're popular because more people want to use them because everyone else is using them. And it's why Bitcoin is so predictable with fibs. Bitcoin is so predictable with fibs compared to like other things. It's just always following them really, really, really well. The number of 0.6 and 0.5 drops we've seen have just been unbelievable. Maybe the bots use fibs. There's not very many bots on cryptocurrency though, I don't think. I think there's more bots trading real markets, as in good bots. There's loads of terrible bots trading cryptocurrency. Did my position open? I think my position on Activision was too low. I think I've missed it. Yeah, I missed that wave. Where's this wave going to stop though? Probably at this support line. I don't know if I'm in the mood for trading small stuff now though. I'd rather trade the big move back up here. So I might get in soon because this is surely going to hit this soon. This candle's going up now. Everyone's watching me and buying in front of me, so the candle's going up. Did you go Google the tool? Oil is not going to go down for like months. Calm down. Don't worry about it. Time to end my stream soon. Look how many messages I have on Telegram. A ridiculous number. Dun, 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 dun. How's AMD going? AMD. Oi, oi. Come on, AMD. Get over that hump. Just get over that little hump and head back up here. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. Still undervalued. Even now. Even now. Look at this. About to cross. It's about to cross. It's doing it. Oh, look. The volume. Yep. The volume? That's not volume. This is volume. Actually, that's... yeah, that's not great. This isn't volume. This is the difference between this line and this line. I don't know why I said that that was volume. I got confused. Leave me alone. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Up a bit. Up. Up. There are like institutional investors watching me right now that just think I'm fucking mad. There is no denying it. Millions AUM. Millions. Millions. Millions of other people's money. And I'm just like, up, up, come on. I think the takeaway that any institutional investors should take from this is that they make it sound like their job's really complex when really, secretly, in their head when they're trading, they're like, come on, up, up, up a bit. That's what's actually happening. All the banks, you know, Wolf of Wall Street, when they're all like, you know, buy, sell, sell, sell. Really, they're all just like, come on, up a bit. Come on, I want to sell you, up a bit. Come on, boy. Walkies. Walkies. Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street's good. Okay. Cheerio, Rob. Do some more research, because I used to align with you very much on nuclear, but I think that things have changed and solar is now the future. 5 years ago, I thought it could be nuclear still, but 10 years, I definitely thought it was nuclear. But in the last 5 years, it's like dramatically shifted. Doggy of Wall Street. Like 8 cents for that position, something like that. Maybe it's 15. Might be 15, and that's on $300 at 2 times leverage. Someone should tell Jay this is not helping. I only updated my clients last night and started staking again, but I haven't minted anything yet. So we'll see. Staking is active. But yeah, since all the fork and crazy stuff has happened, I haven't minted anything yet. So I'll wait and see. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know when I mint something, and then when I do, I'll start measuring it. Last time I did this, it took like 2 days before it started minting anything, and then it started going nuts. But that might have been because of the fork. Well, that's the thing. I've not been doing it long enough to find out consistently. For a couple of days, I was making like $15, $20 a day, um, which is really good. But I figure that that's not sustainable and that it should be lower. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. This is the first time I've really experimented with proof of stake. I've wanted to do it for a long time. It is possible to. The US seem to do it pretty well. Federal Reserve, Bank of England. That's how it works, right? Pretty sure. Ethereum is still sitting still. Dash really did recover quite nicely, actually. Come on, AMD. Up, up. There's not much movement, is there, today? Apart from in Activision. I guess Bitcoin as well, I suppose. Can't really ignore that. Oh, Microsoft's actually gone up a fair chunk as well. That was down at 83 earlier. Yeah. Yeah, there has been some action in Apple, you're right. I just forget because I always look at my portfolio and never my watch list. I should look at my watch list more. Let's find some stuff that's gone down and then go investigate it. Oh, oh, there we go. Um, Not much excitement. Not much in here. This makes me sad. Yeah, but Ripple and Ethereum are rubbish because I said so. Ethereum Classic, that is. Yep, indeed. Fractional reserve banking. PIVX is a cryptocurrency. Yeah, Exodus is the way to go. Like Jax is really good as well. A lot of people like Jax. That's quite similar. Um, but yeah, no, I like Exodus. I should probably investigate Jax at some point though, just in case. Like, it would be nice. I still feel like there's not quite enough security features on Exodus to keep me happy. Palm Beach Confidential. Who are they? It sounds like a dentist. Sounds like a dentist that like whitens your teeth. If I could only trade one crypto in 2018, which would it be? It'd have to be Bitcoin, I'm afraid. It'd have to be Bitcoin. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that could be traded. I don't know. That's a really difficult question. And it's like different for like different reasons as well. Like volatility is what you need if you want to trade. If you want to buy and hold, then my answer would still probably be Bitcoin, but I think that's closer to being Dash. I'm so bullish on Dash. People must hate me because I just go on about Dash. Palm Beach Confidential. Should I know them? Oh, what is this? Is it just a hedge fund? No. Okay. It's a pay for information thing. Nah, fuck that. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'll tell you what's going to go up and down, and I won't charge you $3,000 for the privilege. Here's the question, Diva High. Here's the question. Were Palm Beach Confidential saying that Bitcoin was going to go up in 2012? Because I was. Big Fish was. What about 2013 or 2014? What about 2016? Were they talking about Ethereum in 2016? I don't think they were. I don't think they've got a fucking clue. That's what I think. Because they support Ripple, which means they inherently don't understand cryptocurrencies. So they were. Gasp. Fair play then. In that case, fair play. But yeah. Uh, I don't think Ripple's got a very, very long future. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's so easy to replicate that the banks, if the banks really want that service, they'll build it themselves. They don't need Ripple. They don't need another middleman. And that's what Ripple is. It's like they've taken the idea of a decentralized ledger and they've said, this is ours, we control it, which is entirely against the point. Like the point is, before you have banks that want to do payments to other banks and customers that want to do payments to other customers. And before, if you're a customer and you want to go to a customer, you have to go via a bank. If you're a bank, you want to go to another bank, then you have to go probably via another bank, hilariously. Or you have to use pretty complex, slow, clunky systems, which they try and then hide from the end user, the customers at the bottom. And then Bitcoin came along and it said, you've got your two customers here and you want to move money between yourselves. Normally you go up here via the bank and then back down, but we've just built this thing in the middle that lets you do it directly, peer to peer, straight away. And then Ripple have taken that approach and said, that's good. We're going to take this middle bit and we're going to be in charge of it, and then everyone has to come through us to use the middle bit. What's the point? What's the point? There's no point. It's just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid. You have to pay us to manage it. Why? Why do you have to pay it? Like, look at all these other cryptocurrencies where you don't have to pay anything for people to develop it because people want to develop it because they use it. So silly. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. The problem with Ripple is the company Ripple. There's also problems with the cryptocurrency itself, but the main problem is the fact that there is a company sitting on top of it. I just started copying you. Do you think today was a good day to start? Depends if you used copy open positions or not. If you copied my open positions, then I'd say ex expect there to be drawdown this month. It's almost certain that there will be some. Uh, but as long as you're patient, it's a reasonable time to copy. It's not the worst time, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm just secretly operating pump and dumps on Ripple. I'm in dump mode at the moment. He's got two accounts, whoever he is, from the Philippines. 7 on the risk score. It's a bit high. Also has a little bit of cryptocurrency. I wonder if he just holds. Whoa. Okay. Okay. He's still got a 2 times position open. J Diamond. That's me. Who got into Ethereum at $3? This guy. It wasn't tradable at $3 on Etoro. He got into it as soon as it came on the platform with 2x position. History. It's quite encouraging, actually, to be fair. Maybe he's not too bad, actually, this guy. Maybe he's not too bad. Oh, Jesus. What happened there? That was a bad day for him. I think that's the problem, though. He does really well, but then he just like maybe he just holds on to the losers a bit too long sometimes. He does look pretty good actually, though. That's a lot of stats on side for him. But his risk is a bit high. His risk score. He needs to bring that down a bit really. Yeah. That's the thing. He's just a bit too risky, I think. I think he's the kind of person that if you copied him, you would wanna once you hit like, 20% profit, I think you'd want to take that 20% out and then recopy him again, kind of person. Because you just never know if he's going to lose it all at some point. Yeah, it might be worth throwing a few hundred at. It depends on your risk appetite, I think. I think it's time to end the stream, ladies and gentlemen. But I will set a buy order. Oh man, I was just about to say I will set a buy order in Activision before it hits 63, and it's already hit 63. So maybe I won't. But yeah, true. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Next stream's on Tuesday, so come hang out again. It was actually a slightly more stable stream this time. We didn't like delve into crazy paperclip talk, which is always nice. I'm not sure, Thomas, actually. You should find out and then make a video about it. I'll give you that one for free. There's still time. Green Party. What? No. Okay, I'm done. Right. Cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm gonna disappear again. Search paperclip game. Waste 5 hours of your life. It's amazing. Half of the Discord did it, and they all thanked me for it. Cool. Bye, everyone.